The title of my speech is going to be, how many poker chips do you want?
And shall I read the objectives?
Yeah.
Wow, start that quick. Hang on. It is to inspire the audience by appealing to noble motives and challenging the audience to achieve a higher level of beliefs or achievement. Thank you, Delia.
Thank you. How many poker chips do you want? Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Tonight, many of you will make one of the biggest, greatest decisions in your life. Like in the poker game, if you have too many chips, if you have a lot of chips to play in this beautiful game of life, you're more willing to risk. If you have a lot of poker chips, that means self-esteem. If you have good self-esteem, you're willing to take risks. You're willing to confront rejections. You're willing to take chances. If you have a good self-esteem, it doesn't matter. If you want something, you'll go for it. Even if you know you're going to risk your well-being sometimes. If you have a good self-esteem, you're going to go for it. On the other hand, when you have a low self-esteem, very few poker chips compared to the game of poker, you're not willing to go for things. People don't treat themselves well. People tend to smoke, tend to eat junk food, tend to allow abuse from others because they have a low self-esteem, right? Who here believes that having a good self-esteem is vital to having a great, happy life? Who here believes that? Great, thank you. I believe the same thing. The problem is that many people do not take responsibility. When teachers are asked who should be taking developing children's self-esteem, they usually tend to point at parents. And when parents are asked the same question, they tend to point at teachers, right? So having a low self-esteem is a society problem. Did you know that the government currently is spending a lot more money in keeping people in jail than in education? And that the root of that problem is low self-esteem. People become robbers. People think that they cannot do it, and they commit so many crimes. So having a high self-esteem is something that becomes a personal problem. We have to start with ourselves. And actually, I'm going to speak for myself tonight. I was raised by my parents, but I had my two grandmothers very close to me. Unfortunately, the one that was closest to me, who lived in my house, was my worst enemy. So that you can have an idea, she used to call me a bone. She used to call me a stick. She used to tell me that I was the ugliest one. She even burned my leg. She was mean. I still have the scar, still painful. But I went through it. It still hurts, still there. Thank God I had my other grandmother, who was my mentor. She and my mom lifted me up. I had to take some psychological therapy because I spent too much time next to my grandmother up until I was 18 years old. I went through that. Again, it's still painful. As much as I thought this was not going to get me tonight, it's still there. But I've gone about that. I took that treatment. I've done a lot of reading. I would say my self-esteem is really strong right now. But I took 100% responsibility. Even though she did a lot of bad things, not only her, a lot of people that used to envy my parents, they did a lot of damage to me and to my brothers. But we decided to take my mother especially. She gave us the strength to take responsibility and take all their garbage out and move on. What I'm trying to tell you here is that as hard as the past might be sometimes, you can move on. You can erase the past, not erase it, but at least leave it behind and move forward. There's a lot of treatment, some psychological treatment that you might have to go through, like I did. A lot of reading. I did a lot of, I still attend some seminars to erase that. But all I can tell you is that now I have a wonderful life. I married the love of my life. I have a wonderful 1-year-old son. I have a thriving business. Life is great. Again, I'm living the life of my dreams. I'm even daring to be here telling you about how important it is to have a good self-esteem. One day I want to do that. I want to be able to control myself and tell people that we can all move forward. There are other things that I went through, but so far I'm ready to just say this. Life is wonderful. Life is great. As hard as it might have been in the past, we can move forward. So all I can tell you is, go ahead and stock up your poker chips and make it a great life. Madam Chair. All right, so our next speaker is going to